James.
Yeah, there's not enough time for this.
What the hell?
We also have time.
For this, you also could have just looked up the Ka for Ebonium and then moved on.
I'm on my phone, so I can't
You
go on
can't.
the
You got
tab.
your table right in front of you.
I respect the rules. Is blank because blank.
Wait, why is it above?
Is HF
Oh,
a weak
that's-
acid or what is it? Is HF a weak or strong acid?
So
Weak. So its conjugate F minus is a weak base.
Right.
So it's got to be above 7 because fluoride is a weak base.
I was about to click like green or something. Yeah,
And the P, yeah, 0 is the weirdest
that's
answer.
weird. I just thought it's sodium. Sodium is reactive water. It's supposed to be something weird. The aqueous solutions of
We only just
Basic.
No, I didn't do it! No!
Why are these 3 not basic?
because they're all acids.
They're not all acids. What? What kind of salt? This is an ionic salt.
Yeah, but it's like, they're neutral.
Gentlemen,
Oh, I guess you lost control.
what is the difference between these 3 and that one?
Salt.
They're all 4 are salts. They're all in fact sodium salts.
The difference is that one
HBr can't
is
be.
basic.
I also saw
Can't
Bridges
act
talks about
as.
we're gonna be-
What kind of acid does Br come from?
From
HBr, which is a
Strong acid.
strong acid. HCl,
Strong acid.
strong acid. HI, strong acid. HF,
Weak.
weak acid. So that's why that becomes basic, just like the previous question. Scoreboard? Oh.
Yeah, third. I was
How can you rejoin? We got 0
Which of the
points.
following salts from the aqueous solution of pH 7? How am I supposed to figure that out? How? Oh, I know. No, I did blue because there's no sodium on it. So I was like, I'm gonna blue.
Oh my god, salt is equal salt. Salt
No, I'm an idiot.
They're all salts.
Hello?
Strong base, strong acid, weak base, weak acid,
Eric
weak
is
base.
hashtag Eric is not sold.
All salts are
You're
NaCl.
not. You said you didn't see NA.
Oh, I think we already did this one.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, we already did. Skip.
Hey!
Yeah.
What?
We already did it. We already did it.
Na doesn't react with water. So I was like, it has to be that one because it's like.
I don't want to
No, I'm not doing this. I'm sorry.
Everybody pick blue.
Blue. Yeah, blue.
Blue! Let's go, Blue.
You do it. I think they're gonna get this.
Oh, you could get this without even doing that.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah, I already picked Blue.
Okay, so this is wrong.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Dog.
What?
That's not even correct.
Suck dog.
What is correct?
This is an acid. You're not going to get a basic solution from an acid. It should be near 7 because that is such a small number, not much of it's going to dissociate. So this answer's insane, but nobody picked it, so that's fine. Final. Hold it.
No, I'm not.
There we go. Well done, Ane.
Thank you.
Or whoever was named Ane.
I know you did so well.
Oh, there's one more.
Everybody pick blue.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's just pick Blue. Yellow.
No.
This one should be somewhat
I picked
reasonable.
Blue.
What?
Because I was told to pick Blue.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
Yay! I got it right. I actually did. I got it right.
They gave you the Ka for formic acid, for which you can calculate the Kb for formate, and then figure out the PaOH and the pH. That's a bit of a long question.
I don't even know that question right.
Big Chungus 69. Sophia, yes.
Well done.
Have you seen the entire leaderboard?
I don't even know how to do that.
No, old songs. He's really the 80s.
No, I mean like.
Oh, there we
Wanna do another
go.
one?
Nope, we're done now.
Can we do that same exact song?
Now, indicators. Yay. Which I don't think I've handed out yet. And I think I also have to, that was a good, there was a couple bad questions, but most of it was good.
Yeah, actually, we should be pretty close to food.
I don't mind that Kahoot. Apparently to make Kahoots, you have to have like pay for an account.
Yeah.
Here?
Mr. Newfield, you still haven't uploaded our quiz yet.
No, I haven't. No, not yet, but I can put it on. I just realized I forgot to do that. Wait, put that away. Or I'm going to take it. Yep, put this away.
Mr. Newfield. Mr. Newfield.
1 second. I need to quickly export this because I realized I hadn't done it yet. Okay. Da-da-da. Export, PDF setup, page layout, that works. Save.
Tricked me. I was gonna do even better.
I don't know why you trust me.
Okay, and I need.
Yeah, he's 7. He's 7. I have to look at it since I read it.
But it's not.
No, it's like if your parents well, I've talked to Mr. Newfeld. Mr. Newfeld.
You just what?
Wait, can I talk to you after class again? You can feel
What about?
No, my mom just sent you an email and you were like, come see me or something.
Yeah, you're going on leave.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear from your mom. I want you to come see me and tell me what to do. We can do so we can
Yeah.
arrange it. Yeah, yeah. You just have to come see
Sounds
me,
good. Okay. I'll
so I can get all the details and we can put in the request.
Yeah.
That's all.
Awesome.
They caught a wild cat. Put it in a bucket. When boiling bottom water, they just tossed it in there.
I mean, that's kind of like how you cook.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he eat it?
Yeah. It's so funny that they like caught a wild cat.
Okay, NA, it should be there now. If you want to pull it up, tell me if it's not.
Wait, Mr. Newfield,
Yep.
is this like the last PLO before?
No.
How many other?
There's PQR for acids and bases, and then we start redox.
Wait,
What's
well,
the like last PLO that we do?
Yeah, like W.
No, but like, will this be the last PLO before test?
Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
What? No.
Focus on the material.
Will there be like review time for the finals?
There may or there may not be. Depends on how quickly we get through the material. It's a very comprehensive course. Anything not covered in class will be covered on the final exam. I just love that phrase. It's what professors said at university all the time. Okay, you already know what you already know what indicators are. What are indicators? What do they do?
It indicates
Changes
page
color,
change.
change.
Yeah, color change. Changes color. As what? What are they measuring the change of?
pH.
pH. You did titrations. You've already seen that. They're a weak, usually organic. Theoretically, they cannot be, but actually, I'm struggling to figure out one on the top of my head that's not. Acid or base. And by organic, I mean the chemistry definition of organic. They're made with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. You didn't go and buy them from an organic store or anything. There's not like certified organic. That would be weird. And they have different colors for their conjugate forms. So their conjugate acid and conjugate base each have a different color. The one that you may have seen naturally, if you've ever been cooking cabbage, purple cabbage after you chop it up. If you've chopped it up on the cutting board, put that into the dishwasher. If any soap gets on it, you'll see different colors running down. So the soap will change the pH. And the juice from a cabbage is a natural indicator. Oh, I thought you had.
There's like, you like put like lemon juice on it, like turns blue.
Yeah. And usually that's like, I mentioned it because there's also a common lab in like grade 2. And like, here, chemistry, cabbage juice, and then you do stuff with it. It usually changes color over plus or minus 1 pH unit. So if it's indicator, then it changes color over what's the range if it's an indicator for pH of 8? 7 to 9. If I go too far,
What does it say? Indicator for pH 8, 7 to
9.
4. Oh.
4?
I was like, what?
No, 4 would be like that,
Okay.
or that. But now I will erase that. Describe the shift in equilibrium and resulting color changes as an acid or a base is added to an indicator. So let's take our indicator N. React that with water. Predict the products. Indicator.
Oh, hydrogen.
That looks like a law.
So an indicator is a weak organic.
Acid or base.
Acid or base.
Colors, or its conjugate.
So if I am going to write an equation with an indicator, IN is going to be my generic indicator. Hello. How are you?
The father really working. But
Reload.
I tried that one.
Really? Grab a sheet of paper for right now then. Because if it really doesn't work, let me see. Couldn't preview file. Although, what block are we in? This is, oh, I'm in the wrong block there. Cross it. Oh, God. Yeah, the file's corrupt. So just use a piece of paper for now. I'll fix it for next day. It only it says the file only has 4 kilobytes, and that is not true.
What's 4 kilobytes in megabytes or in gigabytes?
There's 1,000 bytes roughly in kilobytes and a megabyte. Okay. If we react this with water, what are we going to get?
You're gonna get
1,000.
H3O. Wait, no. H2IN and OH.
That was
Oh.
online.
I saw you typing it, and you very carefully put it down. It was subtle. Full points for subtlety. Okay, what are our products?
H3O plus.
H3O plus,
Indicator.
and what's our other product? IN. IN what? Minus. Don't forget the minus sign. So we've got 2 different colors. We have a blue side and a red side. So now we know what color it's going to turn. In acid, then it's just a function of equilibrium. So in acid,
Ion just stands for indicator, right?
pardon?
Ion is just.
It's like when I write HX for acid, and X is any acid. But you have to have the H there, so it's HX. An indicator is a weak acid / base conjugate. So here's our indicator. If we increase the concentration of H2O plus, what does that do to the equation? So we drop this. We have this in solution. It is neutral. So it's kind of, what's blue, red, purple?
Huh?
Okay.
Where's purple? Where does purple come from? I thought it's just blue and red.
What's blue plus red?
Purple.
Color theory. Get a bit of both.
What
Sorry,
are
I'm
you talking
confused. Were you
about there?
asking or telling us?
Oh, I was also asking. I don't really remember color theory. If we increase the concentration of H2O plus, what will happen to the equation? Shift left.
So there's need more blue.
Yeah. So it shifts left, increasing the concentration of HIN. Decreasing concentration of IN minus. Therefore, blue. And maybe I should write blue as blue. So of the indicator, we would say this is the acid form, and this is its base form.
So it's just the opposite with base.
Right, and what happens in base?
Increase OH, shift right, increase in IN minus, decrease in HIN.
We increase concentration of OH minus, but that doesn't automatically shift to right. What does that do to the equation? Because you're correct, it does shift right. But what is it doing to make it shift right?
Decreases the H3O plus.
Decreasing the H3O plus. I'm being a little pedantic about that. Decrease the concentration of H3O plus. Do you remember way back when you were doing equilibrium questions in PLO like DEF, and it was the first time you'd see equilibrium? You'd get questions in old exams and say which of these would shift it to the right, and it would have this in it, and they would say like, oh, we added NaOH, and I had students who were like, why does NaOH shift to right? OH isn't in here. It's because you needed acids and bases to remember that bases reduce acid, and vice versa. So shift right. increasing the concentration of
Iron minus.
ion minus.
But Mr. Neufeld, I didn't get that example of adding NaOH. Like,
Which way would it shift? If I added NaOH to this equation, which way would it shift?
I don't know.
It shifts right.
It would shift.
OH.
What does hydroxide do?
It's basic.
And what does it react with in here?
H3O plus.
H3O plus.
So it gets rid of that.
So, so that amount will go down, decreases concentration of H3O plus.
Wait, if there's
Well,
less.
If it
would you
decreases,
get-
Eric, you know how
But-
when you decrease concentration, it shifts to that side to try and like balance it out? That's
Oh,
what it's doing.
so the NaOH plus H3O plus. Then
Wait,
what is it? It's gonna
The
get
OH
the
and
water,
the H.
isn't it?
It's,
Or is it not?
the Na doesn't matter. So you have NaOH, that gives Na plus OH minus, right? And OH minus plus H3O plus gives off
Two waters. Is
2 waters. What happened to the concentration of H3O plus?
decrease.
Decreases, so it annihilates H3O plus.
But the H2O is on the left side, so shouldn't
Will you show what on the left side?
the H2O
Oh, yes, but doesn't matter. This is in water as a solution. The concentration of water is always the same.
Oh, so we can
You can ignore that
ignore water?
because what is the state of water?
Liquid.
Liquid. Are we ever using water when we do our ice tables or anything?
But you just created another liquid. So
Well, that's why
It's-
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's
getting
water.
rid of it.
Water's in only one place, but it's aqueous, so you can ignore water just like you can ignore a solid. This is aqueous,
oh,
this is aqueous, and this is aqueous.
Wait, I have a question.
No, let me finish this one, and then yep, you're next.
will there be like a time where there's liquid on both sides?
If back in the equilibrium learning outcome, could I give you one? Yes. It's not your most common type of question. It would just be specifically to test. Do you remember that if there is 2 miscible liquids on each side of the equation, that they could mix and then they would have to be added? Yes.
And what can that be H2O on both sides or not?
If it was H2O on both sides, you cross them out.
So that's not possible.
No.
Or maybe you can write it that way to trick people.
Theoretically, yes. In a multiple choice questions, you could see it written that way. Because they give you badly written answers all the time. But you haven't been using the water in any of your ice tables or anything up until this point.
No.
No. So. Who was it next? Dylan?
Oh yeah, I was just saying because in the base one like the acid's decreasing, so the more the acid decreases, the more red the
Yeah.
indicator's gonna turn.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought acids were red and bases were.
Oh, you're remembering litmus paper. Litmus paper is a particular type of indicator.
Oh, okay.
And so you're right. If I wanted to make this litmus paper specifically, then
Oh,
I
I
would
thought
do
we were
this.
talking about litmus.
No, I randomly picked 2 colors and then picked red and blue. I
Okay.
probably shouldn't have because that is confusing.
I
with
didn't
litmus paper.
realize that. I was like. what?
Nope. No, that's
Because
okay.
I'm remembering the litmus paper thing.
Anybody? Any other questions on that?
Can I just see the bottom?
Sure.
Oh yeah, I need to say that.
And this reaction is one that is always true. Acids and bases are a bit like matter and antimatter. They annihilate each other. So if you add base, you're decreasing acid. If you add acid, you're decreasing base.
Isn't that a two-way arrow though?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so
No.
H2O.
H plus is the strongest acid there is, and OH minus is the strongest base there is.
So
I thought if you have like a glass of water, it's like small amount of OH and a small amount of H2O.
There is.
So why wouldn't those react?
If you were adding an amount, like as NaOH, the dissociate is 100%, that is going to react without what little there is. That is how you calculate, because right? That's what you're remembering. And you know that the KW for this right? And you know that this equals right? How big is this number?
So it's pretty small.
Really small. pH of 7 is not very much at either of those. But if you add 0.1 molar NaOH, even though this shifts to the left, the amount times 10 to the minus 7 or so is not going to, this is one of those 0.1 minus x is equal to 0.1. This will still react with NaOH minus this. There makes that to almost 0. So don't confuse macro changes. This is a macro change. You are adding an actual base that will dissolve into water. This is dealing with micro changes in pH. If you drop this in solution, then that determines your acid concentration. This will affect it. Your pOH will be some other ones. What is the pH if it's 0.1 molar? One. Because it's 1.0 times 10 to the minus 1. So that becomes a pH of, oh, hold it. It's not 1. That would be a pOH of 1. So the pOH would be
13.
pOH would be 13, and pH would be, sorry, pOH would be, pH would be 1, and then pOH, and pH would be equal to 13. I don't think I got the O in there. It's so hard to read. There we go. So we use this to figure out what the concentration of the other one will be. But that shift doesn't affect that number at all. So when you have solutions of things that are strong, they just annihilate each other just like they did in Chem 11 or Chem 10. But then when you have to figure out the pH from when you're dealing acid, then you have to get out that and do the relationship. It's a really good question because I have students, they do that all the time because we're incorporating Chem 11 stuff in with Chem 12. And macro changes will still do their normal thing. And then the chemistry 12 part is, well, how does that affect this tiny little equilibrium? Describe the transition point of an indicator, including the conditions that exist in the equilibrium system. These are definitions. It looks like I have sound on there. I don't know what it is. Oh, I know what that is.
What's for the Kahoot?
Can't touch this.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
Because that prints on your paper and you can't touch it.
What? I don't get it. Please explain again.
I do have a Kahoot that's just 80s trivia.
Go again.
Keep going.
What?
Helping us focus.
Hold it. Where'd the other one go?
It's down further.
What's this? Anyway, I'm writing you it. Oh, it's down farther because I have other ones. Yeah, you were right. HIN. Rewrite out, and we'll go a little higher. Rewrite out that equation. And then write the Ka for it. And I should do it too.
I don't see that.
Do, do, do.
Wait, you gotta write. Oh, we got
be there at 3:30, so that gives you 15-minute buffer, so I don't think that will be too early. Just to make certain they get you there on time, they have a bus driver for you for 2 p.m.
From what? You did? Yeah. You travel for Lebanese. Oh yeah, I saw.
Yeah. You're good.
Math is blue.
Yeah, but your phone's kind of positioned in a strange way.
Blue and yellow.
Okay.
I wonder what you're doing with it.
It was 12A, random. Luca,
What?
finish the equation.
Like iron plus H2O
Charges.
minus and plus.
Excellent. KA. Dylan.
Oh, I gotta clarify that.
What? Do it right now. What is it? What's the KA?
How am I? There's no numbers.
You don't need numbers. Formula.
Oh. It's IN, concentration of IN over.
Hold it. I don't think I heard it. There we
Am
go.
I
Yep.
doing this right? It's and then the concentration of H3O plus. Is this right? I think this is over HIN.
Excellent. You are correct. Why didn't you include water?
Because we don't include
We
water.
don't include water. It's a liquid. It's not aqueous. Who cares?
Don't do that.
Excellent. At the equivalence point, when it's halfway through its color change, so it's going from, I don't know, green to yellow, when it's halfway through, what can we say about the concentrations?
They're equal.
Which concentrations are equal?
Like the concentration HIN and then IN minus
Yep.
H3O plus.
At transition point, concentration of I, let me erase that. I n minus is equal to concentration of HIN. What can you do with numbers that are identical in a formula?
Cancel.
Cancel these suckers out.
Wait, why do you not write equal to H3O plus?
We don't know that it's equal to H3O plus
Wait, why not?
because we're adding acid and base to it. So the concentration of H3O plus is variable. We know, say we started with, say, 0.1 molar of this. Then when they're both 0.05, they're equal to each other. We know that's halfway through. But that number could be lots of different things, depending on its equilibrium.
Oh.
Yeah. So that would mean that at the transition point, the Ka is equal to
Just H3O.
the concentration of H3O plus. Or another way of saying that, if I say pKa, what does that mean I did to the Ka? Yeah, how did I calculate that?
Negative log.
Negative log. So if I take the negative log of the Ka on both sides and do the same mathematical operation, the pKa is equal to the pH.
Plus P. What?
pKa equals pH.
pKa would be taking the negative log of the Ka. It's just a mathematical operation. Good. So if I go here, for example,
Should you really be on your phone right now? James?
We in Auburn.
You're disrupting the class. Fun.
And then you're touching all.
No, he's
Okay.
between A's.
Oh! That's for being a rat.
Okay, we don't use words like rat. It's disturbing when at an independent, expensive boarding school, you're using prison terms.
Being a rat.
Yeah. Okay, so, for example, this one. At what pH is the exact middle point?
6.8.
That sounds weird.
That sounds right.
No.
6.8 is
6.8.
6.8 works good. So 6.8. So if I asked you, what is the Ka of bromothymol blue? They don't give you the Kas for these, but if I asked you for the Ka of that, you needed it for something. What if you know that the exact midpoint is 6.8? Then what's the Ka?
1.6 times 10 to the negative 7.
There you go. All you did was you took 10 to the minus 6.8, got the concentration ratio plus. Dylan,
Yeah.
it is very hard to concentrate when I just hear you giggling. And the Ka is equal to the concentration ratio plus. So you can now work out the Ka from this table. Below, this isn't on your data table, but this is the universal indicator, so you have it in your notes. There is more than one universal indicator, but this one is really standard. Green is usually neutral, and you get all the way out here to purple, and then red being quite acidic. If you make that just by combining a bunch of these together, now you'll notice around neutral it isn't exactly green. So they have a particular formula that you can put together and you can make a universal indicator, and that's how they actually generate that. They just have a lot of them in there that change color throughout it.
Is there one indicator you can use to get any pH? Or do you have to always use like
You always have to use multiple because the reason why, I'll go back to the notes, is because if you have an indicator, this will have a color and that will have a color. So you only can have two colors and the mixture of it, right? However, when you said that, I realized there are some that do the equivalent of this. And then you can go and this one and that one and that one could all have different colors, and there are a couple indicators that do that. So there are some indicators that you'll see, and I don't remember if that's the specific reasons, because there could be a couple other reasons, but there's some indicators you'll see on here more than once, and they'll sometimes use that. I don't want to say they do it to fool you. Which indicator's on here more than once? I need more eyes on this.
just methyl orange and methyl red?
No, those are different, because they say orange and red. They're different names. Isn't there an indicator on there more than once? Thymo blue. Those are different indicators. Methyl orange, methyl red, thymo blue.
Scroll up a bit.
Hold it. Is this not all of them? No. Hold it. We are missing some. Where's the 1.0? Interesting. I'll find it. Maybe I'm only remembering it because I remember it from my table. There's a couple indicators that will have a range, and then later on they'll have another range, and I think it's because they're diprotic ions.
Wait, does the range mean the pH?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Or like,
Okay. And I have another one to pull out. Can I test this?
Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
More definitions.
Can't touch this.
I turned my printing into a font.
that 8. Wait, how did you do that?
That's not your printing.
That is my printing.
That is, I mean, that's you very carefully sitting there,
And very careful. Yes, but it is my printing. I have.
That R though. Do all the R's look like that? Why is
Yep.
one
Can't touch this.
weird?
If I go, it should be installed on here. Neufeld print.
That's funny. How do we make our own font?
Can you
That
send
is
this
this
to us?
font. That is such a Mr. Neufeld font. Look at that. Mr. Neufeld has his own font.
You can use a.
Yeah. I have a bunch of students as a font too, if I could go find them.
He's Comic Sans.
Can you send us this file?
Ages ago, when computers were young and iPads didn't exist, Microsoft came out with this brand new idea called a tablet. And you had a computer where you could write on the screen. And one of the things they did, they included a free program where you could just write in letters and it would automatically turn in your, they don't have it anymore. I don't know why. It was awesome. It's a really simple thing for it to do. It didn't take much programming. And I don't know why iPads don't just come with it. It's fantastic.
You can do it on phones.
Pardon?
You can do it on phones. I like text.
Oh, can you? Can you make a font on your phone?
Yeah.
What's the program called?
Yeah, you can. Of course. I know someone who has it, and she can like text and like her.
Oh, you can get programs that'll do it.
Yeah, you
So,
can do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can do
He's helping using my phone in class.
Wait, so did you have to like write every single
I just wrote every letter once.
uppercase and lowercase?
Yep. And all the numbers.
Oh, and also like the what's it called?
Yeah. Exclamation marks, periods, commas.
What are like the French letters?
And then it gives you you can get a chance to change the kerning and spacing, so you can like widen and depending on how close. I even have my writing as a font, and I have a messy version.
What's the messy version?
It's unreadable.
Pull that one up. That one's gonna be.
I don't even have it installed. I think it's installed on the original tablet, which is long gone. Lots of things are long gone.
Yeah, right beside your writing.
Somewhere on a computer from the early 2000s, I own 12 Bitcoin.
Wow.
Wait, actually?
Yeah. That hard drive is long dead.
Oh. I was
Somewhere.
gonna say, like, why are you still here if you actually like own? Like,
Because tons of people did. I remember there was posters for a competition. First place prize was $50 from a local store. Second place prize was like 10 Bitcoin. Because it was worth nothing. It was just a cool tech thing. Quite a, not as much as it was
a few
briefly.
million?
It goes up and down.
Yeah, like
but,
a few million probably.
yeah, and they just recently reached their. There's a transition point where all of a sudden they become rare to mine again. They just recently reached that point. There's a court case where a guy is suing someone else because he lost his USB stick, and on that he had thousands of Bitcoin. And the guy who made it, the programmer, nobody knows who he is. He disappeared one day. We haven't heard from him since. And he literally has thousands and thousands of them. He could crash the market tomorrow.
The U.S. government did not want him strolling around.
The U.S. governments don't really like alternatives to currency. They would probably prefer to see it crash.
Yeah, that's it.
Because you, as a government, and it's not just like evil, we want to control you, it's also, if you can't control your currency, then things like inflation, you can't put brakes or gas on, like, there's very limited ways to control your economy. If your economy's out of control, you can get inflation in which, like, today a burger is like $8, and tomorrow it's regatta and it's 18, and then the next day it's 40. Like, and just starts coming up. Of course,
But it
it
also
was
means they
18.
can't control you.
Pardon?
It also means they can't control you.
It's
They can't tax you.
it's an external amount, but they can still tax it.
But if it's like all anonymous.
It's not as anonymous though. You still have to, the transaction still goes through computers. They just create laws that you have to, like right now, Canada taxes your Bitcoin movements just like it was something else. If you don't declare it, you can get in just as much trouble as if you put it in an offshore account in another company and do the same thing. Like, someone bought something with Bitcoin online, and they thought because it's anonymous, they were safe. And the police just did what they normally did. You bought this thing
How
for
would they- how would
this
police-
amount of dollars, so they just put in a search warrant. What transactions were made through this, that were taken out of this Bitcoin area for that exact amount? And they found it, and then did a subpoena for that particular transaction, got it based on that evidence, and that person then went to jail for the thing that they purchased, which was a hitman.
Wait, so
Not a real one, a fake one that they had on a Tor website, Onion website. Okay, there's other. Anyway, next questions. Do those.
Brentwood's locked.
Wait,
Up
was
there
it you,
thing or whatever.
Where do we write the stuff, like the textile that was in your phone?
You were writing it the whole time.
what if someone like uses that font to like write a note in your behalf?
I don't.
That's okay.
Why do you write so
Did-
much stuff?
Did you hear about the? They just. It went viral a little while ago. There was a principal. His voice was recorded going an absolutely racist rant.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It was the gym teacher. The gym teacher didn't like the principal and used an AI voice generator to take his voice and make the racist rant.
Because there was a bunch of people that were able to steal like a bunch of money from the bank because they called someone using like an AI generated
Yeah.
voice of the like president of the bank. Well, transfer this money.
Transfer
to
this
account.
there.
And the person was like, oh, okay.
When you go to university and you're away from home for the first time, and somebody somewhere notices that
We are away
happens
from home.
on your, that's true, but you're not, you might actually have as much money because I don't know what you have. In university, you often get a lot of cash to buy your textbooks, you pay tuition, so there's a lot of things in your account. They target those times because then they call your parents because your parents are worried about you. And they call them using your voice. I just got in a car accident on my way home from school. They know your school because it's on social media. And I'm getting hauled in by the police. They say I was drinking and driving. I absolutely wasn't, and I don't know why. But the breathalyzer blew positive. If I have a lawyer here, I can get representation right now. You have to wire me $8,000 to this number right now. And you're panicked. It's your voice calling from your number.
Oh my god.
This scam has already happened. Like
That's
they're
like
doing
a
this
crazy
now.
That's a crazy scam.
Pardon?
I just changed my number every few days.
Yeah, it's changing number every few days.
But how
No
do
one
I-
can contact me.
I feel like you need like a code word with stuff now.
That they're recommending now. You set up code words with your parents for that. My grandparents got a call from my younger brother saying like he had traveled to Thailand and he got in trouble, lost his passport. All this happened. Can you please wire me $12,000?
But it wasn't from
And
his
my
number.
grandparents were on the way to the bank,
But
and the bank teller was like, "Why don't you call your grandson? This sounds sketchy." So they called Ryan, and Ryan was like,
yeah.
I've never
But how did they
been
get-
anywhere
It's a call.
in my life.
It's a call
They
from
texted them, right?
How do they get your
Did they
report
text them
over
or call them?
Have you ever recorded anything and put it online?
Like not.
Anything.
AI can do it.
TikTok, YouTube, any
Of your
recording of
voice?
you, of your voice. Like, my voice is all over
What if
YouTube,
it's my
obviously.
voice from like grade 8?
Yeah.
Like squeaky and
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So if nobody has access to your voice, however,
I entered it in competition.
if they call you and say, we're doing a survey for, and you answer it, and you do the survey, they now have your voice. Some of those surveys are just to get voice samples.
So what you're saying is you should
I feel like
answer
it'd be kind
in
of
a weird
just go
voice.
Yes. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on with that because
Sometimes I make old lady voices on the phone and just like keep them going for a while, just saying weird numbers.
I have to move on to this because I've gotten you completely off of this. This is reminding me of my last class where I talked to them about password security. Turn around your seats.
This guy was like this guy was
James.
from.
This one, right now, on the board, you're just answering the question. Write down your answer.
Put dog tags on them whenever they
No, this,
on the boards.
right there. You have that. What color is going to happen if you add HCN?
As they call you.
The chemical indicator bromothymol blue changes from yellow to blue as a result of the addition of. That's a question. What do you add? And then the next one is you've discovered a fabulous new indicator called Fabulosin HFB. HFB is red in acidic solutions and yellow in basic solutions. I've given you the Ka, nice simple Ka. Write the equation for the ionization, indicate colors, calculate the pH of the transition point, give the approximate range of the indicator of the color at either end, the color of the solution in those two pHs. So, first one, considering that, what color if you add this, what to add to make it that, and then a separate question with all those things. Board questions? Send you to the board.
Yet.
Board questions?
What?
Yes?
Because HCN is a really strong acid, and all
Is
of our
ACN a really a strong acid?
Really strong.
It's a strong weak acid, okay.
Oh,
I know what you mean by
I thought
that.
that was the, sorry, forget it then. I thought it was looking for.
How is this a strong weak acid?
It's a strong weak base and it's a weak.
If it's a weak acid, but it's high up on the table, I mean, if you're using English, you might say this is a weak acid, but it's strong amongst the weak acids.
But HCN is quite low on the table.
Oh,
Yeah.
here's my question, sorry.
Yep.
If you have a really strong
It's a dick.
acid, but all of our indicators are
It's a weak
pHs,
acid.
Weak acid.
not
Yeah,
small,
because it does
strong
change.
weak base, then how does that?
Strong.
You
What's a
wouldn't.
strong weak?
You wouldn't.
Yeah,
What?
it shows you the pH. So, if, for example,
There's like,
It's considered
It's
a
like
weak
all-
base.
if you don't have,
It's like stronger.
if you don't have a universal indicator, you just have these. Let's say you just have methyl. No, let's say you just have methyl orange,
Yeah.
and you add it into the solution, and it's yellow. Is it an acidic or basic solution?
Acidic.
You have no idea. You just know it's above 4.4. It could be acidic. It could be neutral at 7. It could be basic at 14. All you know is it's above 4.4. So these tell you which side it's on, but they don't tell you where. Once it's on either side, it doesn't tell you where it is.
But if you use methyl orange and it stays red, then it's,
Then you know it's
Then you
below
know.
3.2.
then you know it's acidic.
Yeah, you know it's acidic. Okay? Yeah, I think I'm going to put you into groups. Yeah, because I see people like making mustaches with pencils. Let's go. I'll quickly do attendance first. You can work on your own, and then I'll put you with a partner or two. Who do we got today? Chloe, Luca, Felix, Nicholas.
Where's Felix?
I don't know. Taylor, Eric, Ane, Eshwan, Lou, Sophia, Teddy, Dylan, Sabine. So we're just missing Felix today?
Yeah.
Okay. That gives us an odd amount.
No, he was
So,
complaining about being sick over the weekends.
what? Lies. It's the Monday after regatta.
Talking about
Okay, go find your partner. Eric, you can join anybody you like. Do those questions on the board. I want to see them.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I don't know what we're doing, so.
You should have the answers by now, just written down. Just write down your answers.
Okay, Eric. Give me a button.
Come here. Hey. I don't know. It's 50%.
Go work, go work.
Either yellow or blue.
Oh, so.
James, here you wish.
I don't have the answer.
Oh, you're with Nicholas.
Yeah.
That area is clear.
The hours of security and entry.
Oh, you want to work with it?
It's a number.
Sure, fine.
For my district, I think it's probably gonna be blue.
Because HCM. But I HCM. It'll be yellow because it's shift left, no?
I think if you add
You increase H3O.
HCM,
You're increasing H3O.
it makes more of that.
This way and then over.
Yeah.
You guys told me 2 times in a row to kill the ball. So.
Okay. Trust it. The transition. I didn't even do that.
What?
I just need to.
Well, no, we would have
Nothing else. Imagine how.
Well, I think if you add more like
Yeah, but it's like I'm pretty sure it's every other where the empty
and it does the same thing.
No, we didn't do that
It
part
didn't
out.
say, so I'm
This is
checking.
2. So this is 1, right? 1. And then 2.
Yep.
I'm not gonna do that.
Equation.
That's
Oh
what
wait,
the
no, I
difference
lied.
is.
Oh, H minus.
NaOH.
I'm an idiot.
What? No. Say add NaOH.
Oh, I was like, I used it.
Sorry,
Shit.
that voice to text came
So I
out
was
garbage.
asking you.
But
I was
thank
so
you for the answer.
Add a base. I thought there was some team all-star.
Just found out.
I don't know what's happening there. Like, actually.
No, it's okay. This is the only one I missed.
There we go.
I just like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Write an equation showing ionization.
Are we doing 3?
Well,
Yeah.
Teddy, what do you?
It's like,
What is A?
the middle.
I didn't do that one because it was like labeled funny.
wait, so
I can do B.
the KA is going to
Like,
Yeah.
plus or minus one, so like,
Yeah.
5.
Eric, you're believing this
Oh.
is only good for
Negative
negative
one.
Is it just one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, for the first one, what color do you get? Yellow or blue?
Yellow.
Excellent.
HFV.
HCN increases
Plus H2O. Goes to H3O.
a mnemonic that may help you, because you'll do this a lot. If you add acid, you get the acid form, HIN.
Okay.
If you add base and you drop that and it goes this way, you get the basic form. It can help when you're quickly looking at things.
Red, yellow. Where do you see this? I'm just doing it, Eric. You just gotta go. How am I doing this?
Bromothiamyl blue. It's not impossible. What are you talking about?
Oh wait, no, I take the KA and then I go.
It says like,
So don't I go negative log of my KA?
What if I just copy this? This is 5.2 to 6.8.
You aren't getting it.
Negative
I
log.
guess this would be like, oh no, so the mass.
Are we finding this? But it's below that, so it'd be yellow.
Five.
And adds up. So.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What can we add for number 2 to make bromothiamyl
I think
blue
that's right. I think that's good.
blue?
That one would be,
What's the pH of the transition point?
What did you add to make bromothiamyl blue blue?
would be yellow.
OH minus?
Okay.
Anybody add anything else?
5.8 to
Right. NaOH works. And we will finish those off.
I'm actually walking.
Next day.
Okay, for a second, I have a question. And it's somewhat related to this, but not
Yeah.
with this class. So, if I was to take the sheet off this side of my hat, how would
Yeah.
I figure out the amount of pH ions or the pH in it? What could I mix? What could I
That's a
do?
titration. The problem is that you don't need a cheek swab.
It's just always
You
stuck in
need
my head.
actual saliva and enough to do a titration on.
I know, but I
It's
think
going to be pretty darn close to neutral. So from a cat, probably,
how do you be a little bit more specific? I know what I know off the top of my head, but I know what pH is.
yeah, if you're going to do a swab, you need universal indicator on a piece of paper to rub it across. It'll give you the rough pH. Maybe, yeah.
Okay, if I need to measure for this, since it's for a half thing, it's the only way I can fit logarithms in what I want to do with my
I had so much time.
Sure.
and it's for a project, and
Yeah.
so I thought,
Oh, you did
I need to get permission from Miss Stewart or for a project, I'm sure we can.
well, if this was the answer sheet for all class,
Okay. All Miss Lewinsky's? Okay. You're a pretty person.
no, that's half Mary's, it's fine.
That means Mary's Lacey.
I don't care. You can take the
No, I was just thinking they're kind of deadly at times.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
What are they gonna do? Like?
That's where the cap.
Yes, yes, they
I know.
will.
I have saline slush in my dorm
Yep.
when I get bitten by
Yep.
animals. It's okay.
Do you know what cat saliva pH is normally?
I can't do it off the top of my head, but I can
Okay.
find it really easy.
Because I think it's just going to end up being neutral, neutral, neutral.
I don't. It's close to, but it's different.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try it before and after feeding them foods.
Oh,
One of their wet foods
sure.
is more acidic.
Yeah, and I don't know, because if you swab it, you're just going to get the pH, which is very rough.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for something is at 7.4 or 6.9, a swab probably won't give you that. But if it's
Would
just for a
it be
project,
easier
you do it.
instead of doing something with cats, just to like blood test myself with something with my
Oh
blood?
God, no! Don't do anything with blood.
But
You're not allowed.
Yes, we did. We did in biology. We tested our blood types.
Yes, but you shouldn't titrate blood.
Well, I wasn't gonna titrate it. I was gonna ask you a question about how I could work with it and see if I could.
Again, it would be the same thing, but 7.4, which is what blood roughly is, it should come out all exactly the same. And a titration for that fine of a grain, I don't think we have anything that will you can just do it. You could.
But do you think I can do something with either H ions or pH with cat swabs?
I'm curious to try it.
Okay, cool.
And I mean, it's just for a project to see what it is. If it all turns out to be the same, is that bad? Is that a
No,
result?
that's probably good because we'd like our cats to not be sick.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So, bye.
Yeah, it might be a little. Ooh,
What? If
cats are
it's
relatively
frozen-
stable at about 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.